All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine, and thank you for joining me for today, day 4 of the Premiere Rush Daily Creative Challenge. Lovely to see you all here. Thank you so much for joining. We've had a good couple of days, and after getting started with leveraging Rush's native camera, so day 1 was all about shooting with the native camera in Rush, which turns your iPhone, Android device, or iPad into a fully manual 1080p, 4K, and beyond camera, which is super awesome. And then on Tuesday, we took it a step further and leveraged some of the super cool automatic functions in Rush to create a little bit more movement and dynamic video-like movement on still images with pan and zoom and some of the new transitions that we have. And then yesterday, we focused on the new content library in Rush, showcasing motion graphics templates and the 1,000+ new audio soundtracks and sound effects that we now have inside of Premiere Rush as well. So today we're going to cover color. And what's really awesome about the way that we've kind of devised color in Rush is that if you have already likely worked in Lightroom CC, or even Camera Raw for that matter, the manual controls for this are going to feel very familiar. In fact, they're essentially identical, except that they were specifically sort of targeted and designed to work in the way that they work on video as opposed to just still imagery. So we'll get into that. Also, of course, we have a whole series of presets and things that you can use. You can make your own. We're going to cover all this today. So it's just a really great way to kind of bring your content in, treat it, give it a stylized look, and then again, quickly export it and share it to all of your favorite social destinations. So as always, we're coming to you live on YouTube, Behance, Twitter, Periscope. So thank you so much for joining. So you've got RB and Mallory and Reverb Mike and Bruno and Jacqueline, Colby. What's up? Gus and Tim, my fellow colleagues. Great to see you. Cal, Uraola, Steve Festus Kosoboom. Lovely to see you. Pierre Julien, how's it going? Stephanie is live. Nice to see you. And we've got Desiree, hey, and B-Men for X-Men. Nice to see you as well. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started. Before we do, of course, want to remind everyone how you can get involved in the challenge if you're not already doing it. So let me just switch over my screen here. So you're going to go to behance.net/challenge/premiere. This is where you can start the challenge. Even if you're just coming into it late, all the content is still up there. This is where, of course, you can download all of the various supplied content. We don't have any for Monday because that was shooting with the camera, but Tuesday, Wednesday, you've got new content in there. And then, of course, you can see today's Edit with Color, whole new series of videos in there. And remember, this week we were focusing on, creating videos around a cause or a particular theme or something you were really passionate about. So today it's about animals and my love of animals, and just like, yes, let's keep the animals alive and well and preserved. So we're going to be looking at that footage shortly. And then, of course, if you want to get in the conversation and submit your content, you're going to do that on Discord. Now, if you already haven't joined the Discord, I highly recommend going there, bit.ly/prdiscord. This is a wonderful community that we've cultivated over the last 6-7 months or so. A great way to share your work, even between the challenges, by the way. Get answers to things from peers. It's really proven to be a really excellent place to just, again, kind of unite with fellow video editors, but also people across all different disciplines, and kind of share your work and share thoughts and share funny stories and, just kind of get inspired. So highly recommend going to the Discord there. All right, to begin the challenge. Okay, so I think, and then the schedule for today too. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quickly. So you just saw Shauna Lynn getting started. I'm with you for the next 26 minutes or so. Then we've got Jesus at 9 a.m. with the Photoshop DCC. Summer Murdoch photo editing at 9:30. Then at 11:30, you've got the Illustrator DCC with Claudia. At noon, we have logo design with Sydney. 2 p.m., we've got the XD DCC with Jesse. My friend and yours, Kyle Webster, will do his draw along at 2:30 Pacific time. And then we'll wrap up the day with Voodoo Val and Victor Davila at 3 o'clock with a design off. So lots of stuff coming, lots of creativity flowing today on the channel. So stick around, get inspired, learn stuff, make friends, and you know, just create things. Okay, so here we have a sequence, again, already created in Rush. Now again, on Tuesday, we stepped through the process of building the sequences manually. So if you need to sort of refresh your memory, you can go back to Tuesday's broadcast. You can also go back to Monday's. It's really as simple as just hitting the plus button. And then when you're not in a project, it'll say add media or take photo or video. It's that simple. So you can either begin a project by shooting your own video or adding it from your camera roll, Dropbox, Creative Cloud, wherever. All right. So here we have all the footage that I supplied for you in today's downloadable folders. This is all coming to us again from Adobe Stock Free. So this is a collection of over 70,000 assets, videos, images, vectors, and more that we've put out there for everyone to use. stock.adobe.com/free. You can grab this content on your own if you feel so inclined. You can also augment the content that I've given you with some of this content. But what's really cool, and I'm just kind of scrubbing through here, wanted to show you all of this stuff. I mean, this is all free. I mean, these are really beautiful, lovely wildlife shots here. Got some really nice shots. There's got some cheetahs right there. I was going to use some of my own content, but then I realized that the content that I was going to share is also on Adobe Stock, but it's not free. I mean, I guess I could have given it to you, but then I was going to have to download it from stock, and then I had to license it, and it would have been watermarked. Anyway, so this just kind of gives you an idea, though, of the breadth and really the quality of the awesome stuff that's up there. I've been back and forth to stock free multiple times in the last couple of weeks, and really it is quite impressive. Just the various array of just really beautiful stuff that they picked. And it wasn't, you know, this wasn't barrel of the bottom content. They really picked great stuff for the free collection. So definitely worth checking out. Again, stock.adobe.com/free if you haven't gone there already. All right. Look at those hippos there. So cool. Very dangerous creatures, but very beautiful at the same time. Okay. So let's talk about color. Now, for video editors, you know, color, now it's changed over the last couple of years. It really used to be that if if you're the editor, you did your edit, maybe you did some rough color, maybe you threw a LUT on something, but ultimately you had someone else kind of do the color for you. And that still occurs today. Colorists that's a specific job. It's an art form in and of itself. It's amazing. I've studied a bit of it over the last few years, over the last 10 years, really, because I just found it fascinating. I didn't study that in college or anything. So I love doing it, but it's purely just out of fun, not out of years of skill and understanding color theory, and just watching others and tutorials. Well, in Rush, we make it extremely easy. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour, or the top of the half hour, or the beginning of this, we leverage the same sort of controls that you have in Lightroom and Camera Raw. So even if you've never touched color correction for video, it's going to feel very familiar to you. So here's how we get started with this. So remember, we've got all of our tools on the right-hand side here. I'm simply going to tap on the color wheels. That's the third icon down there. And we start in our preset gallery. All right. Now, what's really nice about the way that Rush works with this is that, not unlike Premiere Pro, we can hit play, and as it's playing back now, we can start to tap on some of the various color presets. So this is a cinematic preset, and you can see that you've got an intensity slider down here because indeed some of these are rather intense. Okay, you could also, while it's playing, while you're making those adjustments, sort of see before and after by turning on or off the color swatch here. Go into the film one. Oh, I kind of really like that. So again, here's our sort of before, after. Film adds just a little bit more of sort of vibrance and also a slightly lower contrast. We've got some Kodak film stock, Fuji film stock, the bleach style. This is a very common color preset that you see a lot. All right, let's go into our Panda here. Take a look at some monochromatic presets. Noir, oh, that's kind of nice. I like that one. Noir 2, nicer, also a little low contrast. Simulated night, so day, night. I love those kind of things. It actually looks really good. Again, you can really see my excitement when I see things that like actually really display well. Wow, that looks really nice. Okay. Now these are just the standard presets, okay? Nothing to them. Standard stuff here, real simple. Oh, there's even a couple more. We've got matrix down here and gold. Ooh, that one's actually really nice. I like that a lot. It just really makes, again, sort of the contrast between the branches and the leaves really stick out here. Oh, I like that. It's also got a bit of a cooler kind of blue tone. Something really, really pleasing to my eye about that. Now, in Rush, one thing I want to point out right away is that you'll notice that I was tapping on a specific clip and then applying color to them. That's because the way that this was designed, you're adding color on a clip-by-clip basis. So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, well, if I'm using like iMovie on the phone or many other video editing apps, you know, I have a color section I get to choose presets, but it applies to everything. So maybe you don't have individual control. Well, in Rush, we went the other way. We give you individual control. However, that means that currently, at present, you don't have any global way to apply color to everything. So you are doing it on a clip-by-clip basis. We may see that change over time. Maybe we'll see the introduction of adjustment layers like we have in Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop. But at present, you're doing it clip-by-clip. So one of the things that you might find the need to do, let's say let's apply this gold pass to this one here. All right, now these are actually, they're okay. This shot just happens to be a bit warmer, so there's just a lot more yellow in there. But maybe, for my eye, I feel like it needs to be cooled off a little bit to really match this clip here. I mean, there's some similarity, but it needs a little bit, I gotta adjust the temperature slightly. Well, this is where now you have access to all of the manual controls in Rush. So you'll notice up at the top here where it says presets, and I'm tapping that so you can see it blinking there for you. If we go into the edit menu now under basic, you have all of the same, or most of the same, I won't say all because it's not all, but most of the same sliders that you have in the develop module of Lightroom, all right? Including exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, temperature, tint, vibrance, and saturation. So again, if we wanted to adjust exposure here, we can do that very simply. By the way, double tapping on the slider brings it back to its détente, to its center point. Contrast, highlight, shadows. Let me bring the highlights up just a little bit. But temperature is what I wanted to focus on here because again, we're trying to match against this clip here, which just for me just has, there's just like this slightly cooler edge to it. So let's come back over here, go into temperature, all right? And just real easily, I can make those adjustments, all right? So maybe something like that. A/B the two. And that's really looking much closer now. All right? Like that. Pretty good. You've also got vibrance. So again, we can kind of increase the vibrance here if we wanted to. Maybe drop the contrast a little bit. Okay? If we twirl down advanced, you're going to find a couple of additional things. First is faded film. So this comes from the Lumetri color panel in Premiere Pro. And this, whereas I just made that brief contrast adjustment, faded film is going to do just that. It's going to give you this kind of lower contrast, film-like aesthetic. I love this effect. To be honest, I mean, you can overdo it, but it's not like a sharpening where if you go beyond 50%, it just makes it look horrible. It just gets kind of softer and, you know, slightly, to my eye, just feels more late 60s, early 70s, you know? But this is a really wonderful effect, again, to take off some of the digital edge. When you shoot digitally, when you're shooting on your phone, you know, as wonderful as all of this beautiful 4K, now Dolby Vision HDR, the 8K on Samsung, sometimes it's real edgy, right? It just has an edgy, sharp, too much contrast, too much saturation, too much, just too much kind of look. For my eyes, maybe you love that. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, a lot of it tends to it just feels sterile. So by adding a bit of this faded film, you can just take a bit of that edge off and it's real nice. Note I said sharpening as well. So of course you have sharpening here. You don't need any schooling on this, you know, not unlike images. Use it sparingly. If you go too far, you'll pay the price because then your video is just going to look like it'll cut your eyes out. And then we have the vignette. Now, you don't have your midpoint settings. You're missing about 2 sliders here, but this is effectively the same vignette that you have in Premiere, in Photoshop, Camera Raw, in Lightroom. All right, we can adjust the feathering here. I love a good vignette on footage, so just note that you have access to that, all right? Real simply. Now, if you happen to tweak something, all right, and modify something maybe from scratch. Now in this case we started with the preset and now we're modifying additional tools, but you have the ability here to create your own preset as well, okay? So I could come in here and say create preset, and we could call this, this is a cheetah, right, by the way? I said cheetah, and I'm like, no, that is a cheetah because it has the smaller head. In Africa a bunch of times, I should know that. It is a cheetah, right? Confirm for me that I'm not nuts. Okay. Highlander 4, the sharpening. Reverb Mike, you're bringing the jokes this week. Nice. The panda needs some kung fu. Nice. Cal, does Rush have scripting yet? Nope, no scripting. Not so much a request in the social media world, but not to say that it's not a great request. I would definitely consider adding that to the feature feature form, which you can find if you're using the desktop beta of Rush. Very easy to submit feature requests in there. All right. Very cool. Okay, so if we go back to our presets here, now you can see down at the bottom there where it says cheetah. So down here, if I tap this one, all right, that's our cheetah preset. All right. So now I could come over to something like this, our little friend the goat here. Smaller head cheetah, great tip. Yes, there's the little nuggets of knowledge you retain after being on a couple of safaris. Yes, cheetahs have very small heads, versus like a leopard, which has kind of a normal sized head. It's a very, very large, very terrifying, albeit amazingly beautiful cat. So again, I could come in here right now and I could simply tap on cheetah, and that's going to apply the same look as I had to this clip. Now, again, now it's funny as we go between these two. This one, for this particular shot, because remember, these were all shot, it's different cameras, different places, different everything. So this one, as much as I love that, that one has, actually, those two kind of look good together. Actually, these are all sort of looking pretty good together. I might take a little bit of the, warm the temp up just a tad here, because before it was very, very sort of warm. This really brought out a lot of that blue, almost kind of sunset, post golden hour light. So maybe we'll just drop it back a little, 15, and maybe I will also drop the contrast slightly here. Those are good. And you know, for me, again, not being a colorist, but I look at kind of the yellow. I'm looking at the really present tones in the branches here. And you can see they're very, very yellow, almost gold, juxtaposed against this green, juxtaposed against this kind of blue shadow light in the background. So when I look at this, I see that gold light, and it's that same color gold. And again, I see that blue shadow in the background that's nice and blurry and shallow depth of field, you know. These look really good to me. So again, color is super, super simple. This one actually looks pretty close by itself, but let's go back to our preset here. Let's see how it looks like with the cheetah preset. Yeah, now that one's just looking, it's too much. So in this case, I might actually just put the temperature back to normal, all right? But there's definitely a similarity to these, right? They're coming together. I really like the way they look. And part of that too, I think, is having the vignette in the preset. The vignette is kind of unifying the overall look of all these clips. Now this one might be a little bit more challenging, but let's see how our preset does. Not bad. Now this is, again, it's kind of, you know, it's different light, different time of day, but look at, this is a good example though. Look at, that's a fantastic shot, by the way. Amazing that this is free. Look at the highlights and look at the tonality on the lion here. And pay attention to that particular gold auburn sort of color. Now, come over here. That gold auburn light on our dog here, it feels very similar. You know, this one's probably Africa, this is probably somewhere in the US, but the sunlight feels the same. And again, we have just that hint of that blue, in this case, in the highlights, a little bit in the shadows as well, all right? So it's really, really easy to come in here, you know, audition some presets, see what you like, make your own. All right, this one here. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting a little bit further off. There's absolutely just no, this is just different altogether. So I might have even come in here and maybe adjust the tint ever so slightly because we're picking up a little bit more magenta in there. Maybe just adjust the tint a little bit. That looks pretty good. Oh, this is such a fun clip. Again, as I was looking for things to share, I just thought what's fun would make people smile. Look at this. Look at these creatures. Just so damn cute. All right, and there's with that cheetah preset. Whoops, I moved the whole interface there. Okay. And this, you know, maybe we even cool this off a little bit more. There's a lot of green in this one, so we may have to tweak that ever so slightly. But it's amazing how you can really, really just change the whole mood of the shot, right? With just a little bit of color correction here. And then this last one of this very majestic horse. Again, free content. Amazing. Ooh, look at how it did, look at what it did to that sky. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, you know, if you're looking at this going, wow, he's making a really big deal about this. Well, they look good, right? And they're using the same color science fundamentally that you have in Premiere Pro. So quality-wise, it's going to look great. They're going to function well. They're going to play back nicely. Again, we can make changes in real time. Again, if we need to make a slight tweak to this, maybe it's a little too blue. Green it up a little. Let's take a look between these two clips. They do look like a married couple, Mallory. I wonder if it was staged that way. Okay. Super cool. All right. Just waddling to their own tune, Aria. Exactly. Jacqueline, I love it. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Mike, does Rush have curves adjustments? So not yet. So again, you've just now seen all of the capabilities of color in Rush. Okay. So it's simple. It's easy. We make it super easy. Want to showcase again, by the way, when you're ready to share. Now, I've been doing all this on the iPad today. If you go to the Share tab up at the top left here, as I mentioned earlier this week. Oh, sorry, you're not seeing that. Zzz, zzz. Share tab up at the top here. Okay. Quality settings, you can twirl this down. If you want to change the preset, all right, it's automatically going to detect the footage that you have and choose the best preset for you. That's kind of the nature of Rush, of what it does. All right, you choose export, and then from here you can choose to upload to, as you can see down below, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Behance. Or if it happens to be under 8 megabytes when you export, you can upload directly to the Discord. All right. Very nice. Bruno Silva, how can I contribute to Adobe Stock with free shoots of my own? Great question, Bruno. I don't have an answer for you how you can get involved. You know, we secured and procured the free content. I'm not sure how that comes about. Now, if you simply want to become a stock contributor, you know, you can edit your B-roll or whatever your footage is in Premiere Pro. And then from within Premiere on export, if you go into the Publish tab inside a Media Encoder, you can directly upload to Adobe Stock. It will automatically use Sensei to metadata tag your footage, figure out the type of footage it is. The auto tagging is amazing. Then you basically just give it a name, make sure it's what you want, submit, and then someone and or something, it's a combination of algorithm and human, will evaluate your content and then make it available for sale. And you could do all of this work just in the background, right? Someone ultimately has to choose it to allow it to be monetized. So maybe your footage doesn't get picked. And it'll tell you it's blurry, or there's too much motion blur, or it's out of focus. All of those things are blurry, or it's glitchy, or there was an error, or whatever. Most of the time, though, if it's nicely shot and well exposed and just a bit unique, it's probably going to get accepted. So it's absolutely worth doing that. Again, you can do that directly from the Premiere Pro timeline via Media Encoder. Go to the Publish tab. I believe I even have, if not a daily creative challenge, but one of my previous master classes, and of course, videos on my YouTube channel that cover destination publishing. So if you look me up on YouTube under those terms, you should be able to find one of those videos where I talk about that. And looking out for other questions here. Not seeing any others. Boromir Plays, how you doing? Rick, how's it going? Bargav, can we change the color of cloths in Rush? I don't know if you mean if you can change individual colors, like we can do with the hue versus hue curves in Premiere Pro. So the short answer is no. So you want to do that in Premiere Pro. Of course, you can open Rush projects directly in Premiere. Sifrifana, hello, how are you doing? Rosario Castillo, hi, how's it going? All right. Very cool. B-Men 4, okay, nice. And 49, great to see you. Stephanie, you've been busy editing it up over here. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always lovely to see you here. Sam, thank you so much. All right, thanks, Steve. All right, Reverb Mike, I'd buy your sandwich videos. Bruno, it's missing an epic animal sound. And that's the perfect opportunity to dip into our new sound libraries, okay? Want to remind you here, I'm going to go back to Rush for one more second before we have to say goodbye. If we go into the plus, audio, sound effects. All right, now, as someone pointed out yesterday, again, this is brand new, so give it a minute. While there is search for motion graphics templates, there is no search, evidently, for audio files, which seems odd, but so be it. They don't even appear to be alphabetized, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but perhaps you can find some epic animal sounds in there. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to look forward to seeing your submissions. Tomorrow, we're going to review many submissions. I've been waiting because we haven't seen so many in the Discord, so fear not, friends. Please upload, let us check out your content, and join the community. Until then, we will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.